super excited about going live. Awesome. We're going live over on Facebook. Super excited. Super excited to have everybody join us over today. We've got a couple people over here on Zoom. We're just talking to Valencia. She crushed it yesterday. Talking to Josetta. Just getting things going right now. So I am sorry, just getting things going over here on Facebook, and we're ready to go. Okay, ready. Sorry, he was a little late today. We're going to excuse my sister, Brittany. She's on Empire and Pink Diamond little Zoom train, like feedback thingy with some of the corporate staff. And then my mom just barely got in this morning from her cruise that she's been out of town with. So we're just rocking and rolling today. We're super excited. So hi, everybody on Facebook. Good to see you. You'll be coming in. So as always, we have our 90-day every single day for anybody new on here or anybody that you would want to talk about this with paparazzi inside of your team. Do this every day at 12:30 Mountain Time, so a half an hour before new releases. Every day we come on, talk about a training, talk about some wins, talk about the training, give you a little bit of a dare or some homework. And then we want you to follow through on the homework and our Finding DMO, which our Finding DMO is something that you should be able to do in half an hour, 45 minutes. So that's the goal. We want this to be something daily that you're actively going out and finding people every single day to build up your customer base so we can make more sales and hopefully recruit more people and build our teams. So getting started. Hello, everybody over here on Facebook. We got Diva Bling by Mildred. We got Pamela. We got Brandy, Rachel. So good to see you guys. We got Alicia over here. We got Debbie, Sheila. Super excited to see you guys over here. Josetta, thank you guys so much for joining us today. So we're going to open it up to some wins. Anybody have any wins over here on? Josetta does. She definitely does. I can tell. Throw it down, Josetta. What's up? What's going on?
I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Okay, listen, the homework. So I did 10 people, got 5 response. The question was, what accessory do you don't leave home without? So I got back a watch, a wedding ring, 2 earrings, and a phone.
Accessories. A phone.
So then I waited the 24 hours, like she said. And so this morning I said, good morning. So to each one with the watch, I said, do you wear anything else? With the earrings, do you wear anything else with that accessory? So I got response back from everybody. One person said that they only wear jewelry, only wear earrings on Sunday. So, I said, okay, thank you. I'm doing this, helps me to order for my customers. And I left it like that, like she said. Cool. So one lady with the earrings, she said, well, I'm going to need some blingy stuff. I'm trying to be girly. So send me your link. And I'm like, okay. So I sent the link to her. She went straight to my link and ordered over $50 worth of jewelry.
No way.
I said, okay, let me find my next 10 people I'm finna ask questions to today.
Love it. So awesome. That is a huge win, Josetta. Huge win. Also, one thing to add to that, Josetta, don't forget that anybody that buys from you, make them a continual customer. So go back and say, oh my gosh, thank you so much for buying from me. I love it. What types of stuff would you want that I could kind of show you? Is there other type of stuff that you would want that I can help show you and how to find it? How else could you add value to them so they're a returning customer, not just a one-time customer? So awesome. Thank you so much, Josetta. Great win. Anybody else? Any other wins that we want to share? Yes, go ahead. I'm sorry, you might have to say your name. I'm going to say Cedria, but I don't know if that's right.
Sadiria.
Thank you so much. Sadiria, thank you.
Well, my win was I actually did the assignment.
That is a huge win.
I did take them out. Now, I lost my fur baby yesterday, so I'm trying to catch up on replying this morning because, as you can see, I'm just a mess. But that was my win, is that I actually completed sending the.
That's a big win. And everybody else on Facebook, watching us over on Facebook and on Zoom, let's send some prayers to Cedria for her loss yesterday. So thank you for letting us know and letting us pray for you. So I'm so sorry to hear that. one thing to remember for you guys as well before we get into the training is it's nice to, I've even heard this from Emily Brinson. It's easier to what is it? What does she call her little saying? It's easier to, man, I'm sorry, I'm going to butcher this, but Emily Brinson says something about like, it's easier to basically give birth or find a new person than raise the dead. So there's this idea of keeping people going from people that have been for so long. And this could be either customers or team members, right? And finding new people. So, and I totally love that. I feel like there's when you recruit new people and you get new customers, there's new blood. But sometimes if someone's been a customer that was a customer a year ago, or that was in your team years ago, there might be a new revigor of what to do to like reinvent that flame. So know that find a list and know that if you had customers from years ago and you've been doing this for a while, reach out to them as part of this. I mean, that's part of a list that they know you, and just see if there's some sort of way that you can maybe reignite the flame while you're finding new people at the same time, you know? So it's another little thing to be able to try out there as you're finding the new, your new people out there. So let's get going. We're super excited again for everybody joining us over here on Facebook. Today is about connecting with influencers. And this is either influencers. I feel like influencers, when you hear influencers, it's either like a TikTok person that has a lot of influence or followers, or Instagram. So influencer is really anybody that has a following that they have influence over. Okay. Sometimes we think we feel like there's a status or kind of like this identity that I'm an influencer, right? But it's really anybody you have influence over. I mean, all of us could be influencers because of the people that you're over and who you're following, and if people are following you, that type of thing. So basically, he went in and told this story about, Fraser Brooks told this story about when he was doing network marketing back in the day, that his product and his service kind of dealt with traveling a little bit. So he was following a group that he followed all these different groups about like an Australia group and a Canada group and all these different groups. And so he talked about this idea that as he was following the group, he kind of like did a lot of learning through this first time as he was following this group and trying to find people in this group to like push over to his company. So at the beginning, he just started adding everybody and anybody in the group, and he started messaging them off to the side. And a lot of people didn't even know that they're part of the group. They're like, wait, who is this? How did you know this? Like, what's going on? And then because he didn't get good response from that, then he started going into the people that were actually commenting and started adding people that way and started commenting. And he obviously got some response because we've talked about that. It's still a good way. But he went in there and left this or that question. He's like, hey, you guys, I'm going to Australia. Would you guys suggest that I should go to Melbourne or to Sydney? And just asked a question in this group. Again, that this group kind of associated with his product or service. So this could be something, how can we apply this to us with maybe like fashion or jewelry, okay? So he asked this question and it just blew up with all these different people that were strongly opinionated, with people that said either Melbourne or Sydney, and they were super excited. Like some people were just all about, hey, Sydney. Some people were like, Melbourne's the best. Sydney isn't what it's at. Like Sydney's where it's at, right? So he got all these different comments, and he went into all these different comments and DM'd each one of them and just said, hey, thank you so much for your comment. I really appreciate it. I'm definitely thinking about going to Sydney. Okay. And each one of them. So he's playing off their comment, right? In the DM. I'm definitely thinking about doing it at Melbourne. What thing in Melbourne do you think what I should do? So he added more engagement. And after a little bit of back and forth, he started like saying, okay, I'm going to, after back and forth a few times, then he brought up the opportunity of like, hey, I'm going to Australia. Would you be interested in learning how to earn some extra money in your area? This is what I'm doing out there. And over time, he got over 100 recruits from this group, okay, which was super awesome. But what he found was he recruited all these people, but a lot of them fell off. So how many people have recruited people and they've just fallen off, right? Eventually there's fall off. Oh, like might be a lot of work to kind of get them going or whatever. So then he finally figured out this thing. It was just like, well, what if I go to the person that has a lot of influence over this group or these people? So he went to the admin and he started creating a conversation with them and started making some value and adding value to that person, started talking about it until finally he brought up the idea that, hey, you're the admin of this group. I just want to thank you so much for the group because it's helped me And I've totally had this great experience with the group members and be able to book my trip there. Just curious, have you ever, are you leveraging this group and making money off this group, or what are you doing with this group? Is this, are you just not, is this like a hobby for you? Are you making money off it or what? Because a lot of people, when they think you're trying to sell something to them, their main thought, and this is me, is like, okay, what's in it for you, not me, right? But his focus was like, hey, I'm in this for you. I'm trying to help you out. So I can help you figure out a way for you to make money off this group. And he helped this person to sign up. And because of that, because of her influence, she ended up making, like she said, she ended up signing up 100 people, and then he didn't have to recruit anymore. That was one of his big legs. And he was able to like level up and rank up because of this. So the main principle of today is finding people of influence. And this doesn't have to be finding an influencer that has 50, 100, 200,000 followers to finally like make a relationship with them. Anybody could be influenced with anybody from 5 to 10,000 people, right? He did this little, you want to see something?
Yeah. And I feel like this is something too that we run into, you guys, that it's like, oh, well, they're talking about this and they would never do this, where I am a victim of that. There's this girl that I have followed with clothes and stuff. I just started posting about her selling supplements or something. I was like, are you for real? I selling jewelry and you're doing it now. Like, come on. And so it's times like that it's like, I'm just forming this relationship because you never know when it's gonna. And I followed her for we met, actually, Robin and I met this girl at a conference, and it was 3 years ago. And so that's why I started following her. And 3 years later, now she's doing a direct sales company and she's leveraging all these people. And so I'm just like, do not underestimate people that it's like, here, if they're really active, it may be something in 6 months, a year, but you're creating, you're giving them value. You are creating friendships, and you never know when it's going to come around.
Right. Something I'm seeing over here in Facebook, Shelly says, I want to do this so much, but I'm so terrified. Guess what? This is sometimes called your chicken list to reach out to some of these people. So just try and figure out a way that, like, if I can just give myself permission to not like have to look and feel okay, and just be like, hey, how can I add value? How can I help this person out? And really, I think it's our human nature that we want to help each other out. And especially if someone keeps helping me more and more and more and more, I want to be like, dude, like, you've helped me out so much. Like, what can I do to help you out? Like, I want to do something.
To be the side question, you just go to these people and you just create friendships.
You just interact with them. Just interact with them.
And after like 5 or 10 messages back and forth, that it's like, you know what? You've been so nice to me. I love your group. Can I just send you some free jewelry? What's it? No, I don't want anything. I just want to pay it forward. I just want to give you some free stuff. Here's my website.
So just finding ways to add value or to like add to the relationship. Okay. I'm going to throw in a little bit of 7 Habits for Highly Effective People. If you've ever read that book, amazing, amazing book by Stephen R. Covey. He talks about this idea of the emotional bank account. We either deposit things in a relationship or we withdraw things in a relationship. So find ways to deposit, and some things could be a big deposit for someone and some things could be small things. So it could be just interacting in their page, like love languages. Some people's love language is more physical, where some others are more, validation or quality time. Okay. So by going into this person's group that they love, and it's kind of their baby that they've built up, by you interacting with their group and with them, that could be a big emotional deposit for them. Okay. So basically,
so here's the question, Shelly, I'm going to ask you this. What is the worst that's going to happen? What is the worst that's going to happen? You're over Messenger. And that's where, like, I have a love-hate relationship for social media, because people can be mean and they don't care. They can be nice. They don't care. You're behind a screen. What's the worst that's going to happen? They're going to say, leave me alone. They're going to block you. Okay, I'm going to go to the next group. There's thousands of groups out there.
Do your negativity dance. Make it a fun thing. So something else that was really interesting that he talked about to kind of finish up the story is he actually went on to do some more research for these people that had 5,000 to 10,000-ish followers, and asked them these questions to say, hey, added some value, like, hey, are you leveraging your group? Are you using your group to make money? Are you making your money, anything from your group? And he said, out of all the people that I asked, statistically, only 8% of these people in these group, like followings from 5,000 to 10,000 people, Only 8% of the people were making money off their groups. 8%. 92% of the people were not making money at all.
And they're
So-
interacting, they're in there talking to people. They have this community.
Right.
And I said this the other day, that it's like, I'm gonna use, you have some people that you go on and you see some of these buyers or some of these people, and it doesn't matter what they sell, they have these raving fans, they have this community that they can go, and sorry, my language, but they could go sell poop. And it doesn't matter, people will buy it because they love that person.
Right.
And so these groups,
The trust is there.
they love this influencer, so they're gonna follow them no matter what.
Yep. The trust is there. So the point of this is if you can create a relationship with somebody that has influence, that could be your next big leader. That could be your next big leader. So it's going after a bigger fish and recruiting up. It's this idea of recruiting up. So what he says is we've talked about this idea a few times about our Dream 50. Go into your Dream 50, and he says this idea, he says ICT. Dream 50 are people around interests, customers, and team members. And it's easy to kind of say, hey, I want to go after Tony Robbins and Oprah Winfrey following, let's see, Lisa Nichols, some big people. But sometimes it's okay to go after people that have like smaller followings to 5 to 10,000 because they have better engagement and they have better like knowing. I mean, it's like a neighborhood. It's like, hey, I'm going to the governor. Does he know everybody in your neighborhood? No, they don't. The HOA people will know the people in your neighborhood. Okay. So go after somebody that actually knows and is actually a part and is actually in the trenches with the people. Okay. And find a way to add value. And a way to easily do this is to go into their page and start interacting with them and their content. Like, oh my gosh, I love this. I love that you did this. Oh my gosh, this was so awesome. Add a question in there, add value, add more engagement to make their job easier. And basically what he said is the homework for the day that we're going to wrap up before we get into the Q&A is go into a Facebook group or find an Instagram influencer with anything from like 5 to 10,000 followers or more, one of your Dream 50 people. Okay, someone that's in charge of the group or the owner of the group, and go out and reach out every day for a week and just add value. Just keep adding value. Love their stuff. Talk about what they're doing. Share it. Do other different things to help them out, and then reach out after a week and just say, "Hey, tell them how much you love their content." I had a little like scripting here that I want to share. It's like, "Hey, I just want to say how much I appreciate. I've been just following your content, your group closely for the past week. I've been loving everything that you've been putting out. Just curious, do you make money off your following? If not, no big deal. I just thought I'd ask." If they come back, he said there's going to be 3 different responses they come back at. They're going to ghost you. They're going to tell you off and like, go off on you. They're going to, ghost you and go off on you, or just, ghost you. Don't say anything. They're going to say yes, or they're going to say no. If they say yes, come back. Awesome. Oh my gosh, I knew you'd probably be crushing it. Would you be interested in learning possibly another income stream? So then you're adding more value. Hey, here's another way that you can actually leverage your group. If not, oh my gosh, that's totally fine. That's perfect. I have an amazing way that how you could use your following amazing way how you can leverage your following and make money off your following. Would you be interested in this? If not, no big deal. Okay. So you're adding value. And this is where it comes back to. A lot of people think when we're just going out there trying to sell them, they think it's what's in it for us. But this is like, hey, oh my gosh, I can see why it's in it, what's in it for me. I'm helping them add income streams. I'm helping them to figure out how they can leverage their group and help add more value to even their group members, right? So that's the dare today. So again, whenever we give you a dare, there's always a finding DMO we want you guys to be doing every single day, okay? But the dare is to go into a Facebook group, an influencer following, one of your Dream 50 of people that are from your interests, ideal customers, or your ideal team members that are kind of those people, and start reaching out to those people.
Choose a group that doesn't have don't go to somebody that's selling clothes, because it would be fun that they can accessorize with it, but that's kind of in compliance that they have 2 different products. So do something that they're just doing like a service, or they're talking about animals, or it's the moms, or whatever it is of your interest, or it's
find a way to how the jewelry can help apply to them and how they can make money as the opportunity. Okay. So that's today's training. And the dare for today. We're going to open up to Q&A. I'm going to look over here as anybody over on Zoom. If anybody has any questions, raise your hand, please. And I'm going to start looking through Facebook if you guys have any questions. Looking through Bill, a quick little other win for Bill. He says 41 days of increased visibility on our website. Also, last night's live was off the hook with our largest audience and our most pieces sold in a single live. Bill, you are such a stud. I love Bill.
And you guys,
Off the hook.
I
love
need to
Bill.
say something about Bill. So he did the vulnerable post and he said, if you guys haven't done that, he said it took him like a day and a half to post it. He's like, that was the hardest thing to post, but he has had people coming at him like crazy. And so that is something that if you haven't done that, I would go and do that, because look, he's jumping by doing these things.
Right. It's literally putting, what did we talk about from the very beginning? We talked about Will Smith's story about laying the bricks, one brick at a time. That Finey demo is one brick at a time. The Finey demo and the dare is one brick at a time. Diva Blig by Mildred said, yes, that's how I achieved over 1,000 followers by reaching out. Awesome.
So Alicia, you are correct. So it says, so within paparazzi, you cannot sell more than, well, you can, but it's within a page, you cannot have more than one product. So that's why I'm saying go to these groups or these influencers that are not selling a product, that they are just doing, when I say start, like it's here, we're talking about cats, we're talking about dogs, we're talking about moms in Utah, moms in California, moms with twins. Whatever it is of these groups, do it that it's more information, that you're giving value, you're helping people with weight loss. There's, I've joined, like I did plastic surgery. So I went and joined a ton of groups to see what people were saying about that. So look at things that are going on in your life that it's like, here, I am going to hit it, that it's people giving value.
Mhm. An idea, an extra little hack, you guys. When you're trying to be creative and try and think of these groups or ideas, take a moment. You need to find some mindfulness. I call it mindfulness or stillness time, some quiet time away from people. Put on some meditation music, put on something, say a little prayer, and find a way to just, I mean, I love my whiteboard. There's whiteboards like this everywhere. These whiteboards were $15 at Home Depot, 4 foot by 8 foot.
And what are they? They're
They're
shower backboard.
Yeah. So I was able to find a way, a hack, and all I do is I sit there in front of it and I just write a question. Who could my dream 50 be that could help like be associated with jewelry? And just write it out. Keep writing and writing. If you have a little block, keep writing. A lot of times, even us growing up in school, we tend to hit a hard, we tend to not know, like a math problem for like, and we try for maybe 5-10 minutes and we stop because we don't know and we don't keep pushing through. Just keep pushing through, okay? Is 1 or 2, ask questions, ask people. Hey, you guys, utilize this group, leverage this group. Hey, you guys, I'm trying to figure out this whole Dream 50 concept. It's escaping me. I don't understand it. I don't know who we should follow. Does anybody have any ideas? Okay, you could get some response from that. Directly go to people then and ask them in a DM, any paparazzi people. Hey, you guys, are you guys doing this stuff and going into followers and groups? Like, what kind of groups do you think I should do? Reach out and ask people. Be bold and just ask. You never know unless you ask.
Our questionnaire. Should we put that in there? So we've got a questionnaire and I will get that into the files. And it's something to kind of help with that too, that there's just questions that it's like, what type, how old is the person?
Oh, for your ideal customer.
Uh-huh. And
We'll have to
so-
find, if we can find it, we'll put it in there. We've been trying to, we've kind of lost a little bit, but if we can find it, it's just an exercise for you to help you find your ideal customer.
But I think it's something too, you could use it to the next level of like, as you're kind of going through these questions of thinking like the type of groups or the type of 50, it's asking kind of some of those same questions.
And an idea of this is like, okay, if I'm trying to find my ideal interest or in my ideal follower, my ideal customer, and ideal team member, I kind of have an idea of what they look like or what they would look like, what they're doing or what they look like. Ask a question, where do these people hang out? What types of groups would they be doing? What types of groups would they be following? Where are they hanging out? Meaning where would they be on social media? That way you can go to where they hang out and associate with them and turn those strangers into friends. Okay. So we're at time. We love you guys. Thanks so much for joining us. We always love you guys joining us here today. Tomorrow we have Coach Tanya coming up at you. There we go. She's going to be in charge for tomorrow. And then Susan's going to be on Thursday. Okay. So we're super excited. We'll at least get things going. As always, it's always the same Zoom link. Thank you guys for joining us, and we will see you tomorrow.
Love you.
Love you
See ya.
guys. See ya.